Hello and welcome back to the Unite Pieces channel. Today, we will be recapping an action, war, movie from 2016, titled The Mountain II. The movie tells the story of Turkish special forces, who enter ISIS terrorist territory to rescue a female journalist, who is carrying evidence of terrorist atrocity footage and will bring it back to Turkey. However, the journey home is not as easy as expected. They are intercepted and forced to fight with the ISIS battalion that follows them. So, take a seat, prepare some snacks, and without further ado, let's get into the video. The movie opens by showing a group of ISIS terrorists who are holding a female journalist from Turkey named Seda Balaban hostage. While being recorded, the woman is forced to read a script, which contains regrets for covering the situation of the Iraqi border people. However, the woman refuses to read the script and says that she does not regret anything and prefers to be executed rather than having to obey the orders of the terrorists. At the same time, not far from that location, several people wearing robes are seen watching them. Then we will be taken back before the current situation. In a restaurant, we see two men named Bekir and Ogus. They are both regular Turkish soldiers. At that time, Ogus invites Bekir to enroll and join the Turkish Special Forces, but Bekir replies that he will not be accepted, because at that time his leg was badly injured after a previous mission. However, Ogus continues to try to convince Bekir, and finally they both decide to enroll, take the test to become members of the Turkish Special Forces. While being interviewed, the sergeant refused to accept them because they had a history of injury, with Ogus having a slightly reduced hearing after surgery, and Bekir having an injury to his leg. A lieutenant colonel named Faisal overheard their interview, so he took over the interview and explained to them about teamwork, and he also mentioned their previous secret mission led by his colleague Captain Yazar, who had died on the mission. As per the rules, they were both rejected, but Ogus and Bekir tried to convince Faisal. After hearing their persistence, Faisal finally accepted them on the condition that they complete 2 months of special military training. Then Faisal gathered the 200 cadets, but Faisal said only 20 would be on active duty, while the rest would be reserves. Faisal also told them that as special forces, their duties were secret and would be forgotten. They would not be remembered or gain fame, as their names would never be known as heroes. After the training, Bekir was told by the trainer to go back around the track with a time limit of 30 seconds, and if he failed then he and Ogus would be made into reservists. Bekir, whose leg was injured, continued to run while enduring the pain, but with all his strength, Bekir finally managed to pass the coach's challenge on time. After that, the coach told Bekir that he would get special therapy for his injured leg, because he had successfully completed the coach's challenge. In the last exercise, they will be tortured like prisoners. Many of them surrendered, but not Bekir and Ogus. They continued to survive even to the limit of the torture record. Finally, after passing the training, they got the Turkish Special Forces beret. After that, they were deployed on a mission. They were dispatched by plane and deployed at a predetermined location point. Then we will be brought back to the current situation, where Seda is being held hostage. Several people wearing the cloak turned out to be Turkish Special Forces who were undercover and watching, waiting for the right time to act. It wasn't long before one of them gave the code to attack the terrorists. A group of ISIS finally managed to paralyze them. It turns out that their mission at that time was to save Seda, after which they took Seda to a safe place. They used a safe travel route to avoid ISIS and return to headquarters. Seda approached them and asked why they were only saving her and not saving the other journalists. Faisal explained that their task was only to save Turkish citizens, and because the other journalists were not Turkish, he did not want to endanger the lives of his men to save them. After that, they moved back. On the way, a member named Mustafa gave Seda her camera and said that she was allowed to take pictures of anything, but she was prohibited from photographing members of their special forces. When they crossed a hill, they were shocked to find many dead bodies of people who were victims of ISIS atrocities. They were slaughtered by ISIS just because they had different beliefs. Soon a group of ISIS came and approached them. Faisal then asked for an artillery attack to bombard the group of ISIS. After that, Faisal contacted headquarters to inform their position. Headquarters said that they were surrounded by 2,000 ISIS soldiers, who moved to close the border area in the area. Seda then told them a safe place to hide temporarily. Then they arrived at the place of a tomb of the king of Akkadia, named Sargon. Some members were ordered to explore the place to ensure security there, but at that time they found several ISIS members who were installing bombs in the tomb. They tried to stop the actions of a group of ISIS, until finally they managed to take them down and managed to defuse the bomb at the last second. The next day they continued their journey. On the way, they saw several citizens who were being held hostage by a group of ISIS. They then moved slowly approaching the location, and gunfire ensued. They managed to finish off the group of ISIS and save the hostages. One of the hostages who was dying was a man from the Iraqi Kurdish forces. He asked Faisal to save two other hostages, namely a woman named Nabat and a girl named Enagal. He also asked Faisal to kill him and end his suffering. After that they continued their journey. They almost arrived at the landing place of the helicopter that would pick them up, but before that they had to pass through a village called Sharda. Carefully, they entered the village, and it turned out that the village was the village where Enagal lived. Enagal returned to her mother's arms. It was revealed that in the village there was only one man left named Boran. Boran said the villagers there were only 25 adults, and 15 children. Boran then invited them to rest at his house. The headquarters contacted them again and informed them that the ISIS forces had succeeded in destroying the Iraqi and Kurdi armies, and that their main battalion was heading towards the last village, Sharda. Boran, who heard this, could only resign himself to the fate of his village. Seda then asked Faisal to help the villagers there from ISIS attacks, but Faisal refused because their main mission was to save Seda. For him the success of the mission was the main thing, and the safety of his members was his responsibility. The next day a helicopter was dispatched to pick up Seda. After arriving at a hill, it turned out that the entire population of Sharda village was also taken there. Children were prioritized to be evacuated first. Seda was confused to see what Faisal was doing. Before Seda left, Faisal asked her to promise not to write and publish about what happened at that time, and let it forever be a secret. And Seda promised to keep it a secret. Before Seda left, Faisal gave a letter and asked Seda to open it arriving at the destination. After that the helicopter left for Turkey. Then headquarters contacted Faisal and scolded him. Headquarters asked what was the reason they did not come back with the helicopter. Faisal said that a storm was coming, so he asked the helicopter to leave early. Then all his members confirmed to headquarters that it was true that the weather there would deteriorate. Headquarters finally believed and would send the helicopter back the next day. After that Faisal asked his members to raise the Turkish flag in the village, and would protect the village as a homeland. They gathered the remaining weapons and divided the tasks for each. Faisal then said he needed someone to carry the ammunition, so Nabat said she would come and fill the position. After the preparations were complete, they shared stories while waiting for the arrival of ISIS troops. Not long after, a member named Arif informed him that ISIS troops were approaching. Arif informed that the ISIS battalion was carrying around 200 people, and 8 tactical vehicles and 1 Abram tank. They moved to their respective positions. When this convoy of troops got closer and right at the location of the bomb they had installed, they immediately detonated it. Then they shot at the ISIS troops who survived the explosion. After a long battle, they finally ran out of bullets and they were getting cornered. When they moved back, Nabat was shot in her leg, as well as Boran, who was shot in his stomach. Mustafa, who was caught, sacrificed himself by exploding a grenade. The remaining men retreated to the last defense post, while ISIS troops continued to attack them. In the process, Eshref, one of Faisal's men, was shot by an enemy sniper and did not survive. The dying man then asked Arif to use his body so that he could find the sniper. After successfully eliminating the enemy sniper, they left Eshref's body sitting there. With the remaining ammunition, they continued to defend, but one of the ISIS members with a bomb on his body ran towards the last defense post. Faisal tried to hold him back, but other ISIS members shot him. Faisal's men then came forward to help him, and finally the battle ended, and the Turkish special forces managed to overthrow the main ISIS battalion. The helicopter carrying Seda has arrived in Turkey. Seda then reads the letter given by Faisal. The letter contains his hopes for his daughter who has died. If his daughter is still alive, he wants his daughter to be like Seda, a woman who is kind, has extensive knowledge, and likes challenges. Meanwhile, in his dying moments, Faisal asks all his men not to forget the memories of his time with him, and the movie ends. What do you think of this movie? Please write your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the like button, and support our channel by subscribing, so that we stay motivated to create more interesting content for you to enjoy. And until next time.